Hi there, and welcome to Essential Oil Talk Radio with Marc and Nikki. If you're frustrated with trying to manage your health and are looking for real information that challenges the status quo, you're in the right place. I'm excited to announce that we are listened to all over the world now. We have listeners in the UK, Greece, Malaysia, Australia, Canada, Spain, and more. Isn't that cool?
That's awesome.
All right, and I'm excited today. We've got Laura Weaver in studio with us, and she's a longtime essential oil user. We're going to have some fun. We're going to learn a little bit and see where it goes from there.
Yeah. Hey, Laura. I'm glad you're here.
I'm excited to be here. Thanks for having me.
Yes. And hello, listeners. Welcome, welcome, welcome. We are so glad that you've chosen to join us today. And if you follow me on social media, then you have seen the pictures of my daughter and her foot. It's circling all over the internet. People are copying, sharing it away. Yeah. So she was at a friend's house, right? She was swinging in the backyard. She jumped off, and she just happened to land on the metal edging in the garden. Now, I was inside, like, having a hen party with the moms, right? You know what that is? A hen party?
I could guess.
Where we're all like, we're just talking away.
We're
like
not
we're pecking
laying
at
eggs.
corn.
We're talking.
We're talking. Like, it was nonstop talking. And her little friend comes in and says, excuse me, Miss Nikki, but Michaela needs you. I said, okay, I'll be right there. And she closed the door, and I'm back to my little chit-chat. And then she's like, she really needs you? Like, she didn't want to say anything. I said, okay. So I walked out there, and there Michaela was, just sitting on the edge of the trampoline. But she's holding her foot, like the figure 4, right? And there's just blood down her leg, all over her foot. It was dripping off. I mean, it was just everywhere. And I panicked a bit. I got scared.
Well, sure.
And her eyes are like big as baseballs. And I said, honey, are you okay? She's like, it's bad, Mom. I said, okay. Well, we're going to get this taken care of. So I said, I'll be right back. All panicking. Oh, my gosh. Call 911. No, I didn't. So I went inside. I said, I just need some paper towels. Michaela has cut her foot. And the mom right away, you want some antibacterial ointment, you want some peroxide, some alcohol, and she had a sprayer of peroxide. So that's what I went with. Give me the peroxide. Took it outside, sprayed her foot down. Well, what happens with peroxide, right? It just like swells up, this white foam.
Right.
And Michaela says, oh, it's killing the germs, right, Mom? I said, yes. Wrapped that paper towel around her, stuck it in her shoe. I was like, it's going to hurt. Let's go. We're leaving. We get home. I put her in a lavender bath right away. That was my first inclination, was to say, you know what? She's in shock. I mean, she can't even talk. She didn't talk the whole way home. It's only 4 or 5 blocks away. Anyway, long story short, got her in the bath, washed it with just that lavender water, was able to trim off the skin, and I put a couple of oils, some helichrysum, and then a Young Living blend called Owie, which actually has that helichrysum in it. Mm-hmm. It never once burned. She didn't feel it.
She didn't wince from the burning on it?
Nothing.
I know.
She's like, I'm going to be okay, right? I said, yeah. And I put a little gauze on it. The next morning, she got up, and she says, my foot just popped. I said, what do you mean? She says, where my cut is, it popped. It had already started to bind and heal. That healing process has already started. And within 5 days, you know what we have? A little scar. I thought, when I first saw it, my gosh, we're going to have to go to the hospital.
Well, it looked like you would need stitches from the picture that I saw. It's quite the cut.
Yeah. It was intense. And it was a feeling of, I was scared, but then I was so empowered once I got home. I was like, I got this. Yeah. I'm not going to worry about this. So.
Well, and that calmness that you have really kind of, it projects over to Michaela, who's able to kind of, work off of that.
Right. So if mom's freaking out, then baby's going to freak out, right?
Exactly.
And perfect timing, your wife, Jennifer, she actually texted me. I said, I'm dealing with this right now. She's like, bust out the helichrysum. I'm like, what else? What else, Dr. Mom? And she guided me right through that. I mean, I would have eventually reached for that, but my first inclination was that lavender to calm, and I know that lavender has some properties that are wonderful for the skin. So
when I first heard you talk about that, I was really impressed with the lavender bath because as a parent, of course, your kids are going to go, they can get a little bit freaked out, right, about something happening. And when you said you put her in a lavender bath, I was like, oh my gosh, that's such a great idea to help calm her down.
And it calmed you down, too.
It sure did. It sure
yes,
did.
Exactly.
I was there.
Wow.
Yeah,
and that's a very powerful story. And I'll try and remember to put a picture up when I do the video cut
please.
on this as well. So, Laura Weaver, you've been a mom for a long time, right?
I have been a mom for a long
You've raised,
time.
how many kids have you raised?
2. I had 2 daughters.
Okay, awesome.
And I have 4 grandchildren.
And you've kind of have a naturopathic, if you will, mindset from way back when.
Yes.
Can you tell us a little bit about how you got introduced to essential oils and just a little bit about your journey?
Sure. So as my daughters were growing up, I used homeopathy and holistic medicine all the time. when I was introduced to the oils, I was so impressed because they were another tool that could be used, and they didn't compromise herbs or homeopathy, which was real important in homeopathy. It's kind of a sensitive remedy. So I was real impressed with that. Plus, I just love the smell of them.
Sure.
So my mentor, Sherry Ross, was coming down and teaching classes here in San Antonio, and of course told me I just had to get an account. That was all there was to it, and start using the oils, and so I did.
So how many years have you been using essential oils now?
17 years.
Oh, wow. That's a long time. And has it been Young Living the whole time?
The whole time.
Okay. And you've been to their farms? And
Yes, I've been to 3 farms. I've been to the Mona Lavender Farm, of course. I've been to the Idaho farm.
The Melissa farm?
The
or
Melissa and Lavender. They have
okay.
lavender there
St.
too.
Marie's, yeah.
St. Marie's, yes. And Ecuador.
Okay.
Yes, that was my favorite.
Oh, wow. I want to go.
Ecuador is awesome. So that was the gold trip back when I reached gold. But it's great. The Lang Lang is just beautiful, and we got to pick it, and it's just a beautiful farm.
They grow year round down there, right?
They do.
In Ecuador. Okay. So today
That's
we're
why
going
he did that.
to talk a little bit about essential oils and because we want to focus a little bit because I know you have a tremendous amount of knowledge that we can all benefit from. And you're at all the events I think that the San Antonio Empowerment Council is doing. So it's a good opportunity to meet
They're fun.
Laura and actually pick her brain for some knowledge. The power of community is huge, right?
Yes, it is.
It is really important.
Yes.
So we're going to talk a little bit about essential oils and skincare. So,
Okay.
so give me an oil or a couple oils that you would use for skincare for your own personal use that you've used and what you've experienced.
So I remember one of the first oils that Mary Young would always talk about using on her face was myrrh. And I remember her telling us that Gary said he was going to have to come up with something because he didn't like the smell of myrrh on her face.
Oh, wow.
But it's a thicker oil, and it's really, really hydrating, and it kind of seals in, so it's really good to put on top of other oils. Frankincense, of course, is a new one, and my latest favorite is Manuka. It is beautiful on the face or on skin. It's just very healing. It's a very mild kind of tea tree smell to it, but it's wonderful. And
So
of course,
I have
lavender.
a question. I have a question for you. You
Okay.
said Manuka, right?
Yeah.
So whenever I hear that word, I instantly think of honey. Does that have anything to do with that or not at all?
It doesn't, but it's interesting that it's used a lot with honey in a lot of skincare products.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure why they were combined, but I've noticed I have one myself that I use with Manuka and honey. So it's very popular.
So what kind of things could people expect if they're using, let's start with this. How would you use myrrh on your, you just like put a couple drops in your hand, wipe it on your face?
You can put it on like a little cotton ball, or I just put it on my fingers.
Okay.
I don't want to waste it on a
No.
cotton ball. I put it on my fingers and just rub it on my face. I kind of use it as a serum, just like you can have some. It is also in a lot of skincare products that we have.
Okay. Are you looking to like improve the appearance of the skin, like wrinkles and that kind of stuff? or what
Myrrh
are you
is
looking
more
for?
for healing property,
Okay.
any kind of blemish or it's very healing to the skin. But it's also, like I said, very hydrating. It seeps in and it holds the moisture in your
nice.
skin.
Okay.
So it's wonderful to use at night
Okay.
when you want your skin to be
So
supple.
do you have a routine that you want to share with us?
Well, I use the skincare products now with Young Living. Pretty
Okay, so
much.
what are you using?
So I am using their foaming cleanser, which is from the Art line.
Now, does that have essential oils in it?
Yes, it does.
Okay, so do you
It
know
has-
offhand what it has?
It
in
has a lot of them in there, but it has lavender, it has a helichrysum, it has frankincense. I'm not sure it has myrrh in it in the cleansing part. I don't think it does. I believe it has. It has many more of them.
Sure.
But I use that to cleanse with, and then I use a serum. It's called a renewal serum, and you just kind of tap that on. You just kind of tap it on very lightly, and you don't need to use very much of it. And then follow with that with our moisturizer. So I use the Art Intensive. I have a little bit older skin, so I need a little bit more hydration. So I use the Art Intensive, and I really like it.
Cool. So what about like acute situations? So if you have like a cut, for example,
Yeah.
Michaela got cut, and so we know what Nikki used. Do you have experiences in there?
Yeah, well, there's several oils. There's some blends that actually will, and helichrysum is a wonderful oil to go immediately to. It will also help stop bleeding. Purification will help stop bleeding. And then the frankincense also is really good to put on wounds. It doesn't sting, and it's also healing. Lavender, of course, is always a go-to. I mean, lavender is like your Swiss Army knife, and I use it for everything. But it's my first one I grab for the kids usually because they like the smell of it and they're not intimidated by it.
Yes, and you know what? I love it because it's a calming and a cleansing property.
Yes.
That's what I like about it.
Yes. And like what you said, when she hit metal, you always are a little concerned about the dirt or the bacteria on that metal. So these oils are wonderful to help give us confidence to know that that's taken care of. And I think your confidence was also very important. When you tell them, yes, I know this, and they're like, okay, my mom knows it, I'm good to go.
There you go.
Yeah, they can relax in that. So with respect to toxicity and a lot of the products that we see nowadays, when growing up, we didn't know this, right? We didn't know that, there's these weird exotic ingredients in there that maybe we shouldn't be putting on our skin in open sores and stuff like that. But I know there's some products that Young Living has, the Animal Sense ointment, and then of course the Lavaderm spray, which you were talking about earlier before the show. So do you have experience with using any of these? And
well, I swear by the lavender mist. It also has helichrysum in it, and so it's a good one to go. It needs to be in the first aid kit for everybody in their house because I spray it on sunburn, but also on just anything. It's very healing, and I like it as just kind of a toner on my face. So that's my to-go-to for healing and first aid. Lavender mist. Yeah. Okay. So they have two. They have the after sun spray. Mm-hmm. It's a little bit more like a cream.
Okay.
And then they have a lavender mist, spray mist, and it's just clear. So.
Okay, so that would be a good alternative to some of the other stuff we're seeing on the market there, where people can just grab it, spray it, and kind of go with it. So awesome.
Yeah, we like the sprays. They're a little easier.
Mm-hmm.
That's what people want. They want something that's really, really simple. Mm-hmm. So anyway.
Exactly. So summertime, right? It's number one time of year where kids are getting hurt. More bug bites, more scrapes, more owies. So we're prepared. And what I love about summertime is the barbecues. I think I've gone to 3 different parties in the last week, right? So this is going to be my new go-to. It is a strawberry cucumber salad with honey tangerine balsamic dressing. Okay, it's very, very simple. You take 2 pints of strawberries. You're going to take the stem out. You're going to slice them up so you want them in rings. Then you're going to take 2 large cucumbers, now roughly peeled. Do you know what that means?
Yes.
No.
Roughly peeled. I knew you wouldn't know, because usually when you peel the cucumber, you want it slick, right? You're like, there's no dark green on there. Roughly peels mean you leave some of that dark green, so it has that color combo on there.
Okay.
If you're a visual person, you would understand. It's just, it's beautiful together.
It's also healthier
it's beautiful
for you.
Together, yep. So then you take your little glass jar. You're going to have half a cup of honey, add 3 drops of tangerine essential oil, and 1/4 cup of white balsamic vinegar. Mix that up, pour it over it, mix it up. It's absolutely gorgeous, and it's just a flavor pop. I mean, it is amazing.
Oh, I'm going to have to.
So I'm going to start taking that to our events. That's what I'm going to start bringing. I'm excited. I tried it, and it's like to die for.
I like dipping stuff. I'm not going to eat a salad probably there.
You will eat it.
Oh, it's strawberry.
Okay. All right.
I'll tell Jennifer, and she'll make you eat it.
Are you going to put that on our blog?
I am going to put it on our blog so everybody can find us. And you know where you can find our blog at eotalkradio.com.
Yep. Click on the blog tab.
Something interesting about cucumbers, just real quick. You know, a lot of people don't eat cucumbers because they say they bother them. If they have some of the peel with the cucumber, it helps because the enzymes are in the peel that help them digest cucumbers.
It helps
Oh,
with
wow.
digestion. Yeah, I've heard people say I
My husband was one, and then when I started leaving a little bit of the peel on, he didn't have a problem.
Huh.
Oh, interesting facts by Laura.
Yeah.
Thank
Should
you.
we eat the bananas with the peels on them too?
Oh,
maybe?
yeah.
Yeah,
It's kinda
try that.
difficult.
I've heard
Try
that might be.
Hey, real quick, I saw a video. What's Nikki finding on the web? It was a guy eating tamales for the first time.
Oh,
with the skin on it.
Oh, no.
He left the peel.
husk. Yeah.
And he was like,
well,
just
there was a
going to
president
town.
that did that.
That was cracking
There was
me
a
up.
president or vice president that came to Texas and tried that.
Oh,
They tried
tell
to
me
eat
it
that
wasn't George Bush,
I think it was
please.
Jimmy Carter.
Oh, well, Jimmy Carter. I mean, come
Way
on.
back in the day. Let's
But
move on.
it was funny.
All right, so I'm going to talk a little bit about rollerball wellness. So I like simple, right? I like just, I don't want to think about it. And rollerballs really do that for me. I love just the simplicity of the whole thing. So what I use Raven and Thieves, I use it all the time, and rollerballs make my life easy. So this is how I do it. I'm going to give you a little tip. If you're watching on the video, I'm actually going to show you a little bit on the video. But you get a little rollerball. Make sure the stainless steel type, that's perfect. You slap it on a brand new bottle of Thieves, right? And make sure you're using the topical application Thieves bottle. When I get up in the morning after my shower, I'll swipe the Thieves on my feet a couple times here and there, and then I'll put my socks on.
Okay.
That's my routine in the morning. Thieves on the bottom of my feet.
I put these
All right,
on the
tell me
bottom of
why.
my feet too.
If you don't know why, then I would say you're probably going to have to do a little research on why, because the FDA has this little rule: you can't talk about supporting the body's systems with a topical application. I mean, imagine eating what is a Vicks vapor rub, right? We know that that's supposed to be okay, but you can't eat it, right? So they don't want people taking topical application stuff and putting it in their body. But I will tell you this: it has like cinnamon, lemon, rosemary, eucalyptus in it. So it's got oils in it that are really, really good for the body. So take a look and research those. But for me, I don't like to have to go, I can't afford to get sick. I just.
Well, you're doing it to keep yourself above that wellness line.
Exactly right.
Okay.
Yeah. So the best offense or the best defense is a good offense. There we go.
Something like that.
So this is my routine. All right. So back to my routine. So thieves on the bottom of my feet and then raven on my chest. Okay. Every day without fail. And I would challenge you guys. I know you guys have your routine, so I'm speaking, generally, but I would challenge folks to go and do that for 30 days, do it for 60 days. Just make it part of your routine and just watch how your body just loves it. And you feel good, and you don't have to go to the clinic as often, at least in my experience. So,
That's awesome.
yeah, that's my rollerball wellness thing. It's pretty easy. Now, what about the kids? Okay, so Young Living, this is what my daughter does. Okay, so we have the Kid Sense Sniffles, which comes diluted. It's ready to go, right?
Okay.
So this is what she uses in the morning, right? And then at night when she's going to bed, you want her to wind down, she uses Sleepy Eyes. Again, you just put the roller ball on it. They put it on the bottom of their feet, and they're good to go. So
And a routine is important. It's very, very
so
important.
important. Easy
Well,
peasy.
that's cool. Thanks for sharing that. I don't have either one of those little products there
It does make it very easy for
for the
children.
kids.
For children. To
I'll look
use.
into that.
Well,
Thank
it's
you.
very empowering for the kids. You just, hey, this is for you. This is actually something created for you. It's a blend. It's diluted already. Slap a roller ball on it. Empower them to go do their thing.
Yeah.
There you go. Awesome. All right. So I want to talk a little bit about our everyday first aid kit. So what's typically in it? Band-Aids, of course, right? Everybody has Band-Aids or gauze, tape, things like that. And there's typically peroxide and alcohol pads. Now, do you know the number one item, other than what I just mentioned, in the first aid kit? Do you know what every first aid kit has?
Neosporin.
No,
Well, that's-
tape.
That's the brand. It is a triple antibiotic ointment.
Yeah. and
So the
antibiotics.
ointment is used to fight off any bacteria and help speed up the healing process. So did you know that you're only supposed to use that ointment 1 or 2 times after the initial, I'll say wound, but if it's a scrape or a cut, whatever it may be? Only 1 or 2 times. And let me tell you why. If you use it more than that, it can actually cause problems. So for a scrape or minor wound to heal properly, it needs to be kept clean and dry. So if you're putting ointment on it for a week at a time, what's that doing? It's keeping it moist. And it's it's inviting bacteria in. Even though it's fighting it, it's saying, hey, come on over here. We're ready.
Yeah.
We're ready. It's a great
Jump
breeding
on
ground.
board.
So even it says that on the Neosporin. It'll say that. Use for the first 24 hours and then don't use it anymore. So a lot of people don't know that.
That's a red flag for me when it says just use it for the first
Well,
24
because
hours.
I know the reason, and it's to help the healing process begin.
Right.
It's keeping it clean and helping it begin, but don't want to use it anymore. So I've kind of switched that out. We don't have that at the house anymore. I mentioned my story earlier. I was able to use the essential oils to help speed up my daughter's natural healing process on her foot. The oils didn't affect her in a negative way, right? She wasn't like, oh, that burns or that stings. The oils go to work immediately and they dry rather quickly. So there's no moisture left on the foot. And I believe that's why it healed so quickly. Like, guys, that's all I put. The initial peroxide, then it was nothing but oils twice a day, 4 drops of oil per day. And that's what came of that. So the fibers of the skin, I have pictures in the morning, in the evening, every day. And I want to give them to you because you're so talented in the whole putting videos together. You can see the fibers growing and reaching out for one another. You can see them forming. It is crazy. So I want to put that on the webpage for people to see.
It'd be like an
Very,
episode
very,
of
very cool.
Dateline.
Yeah. Sounds
Yeah.
Or CSI.
Or CSI, yeah, if I could just do the voices, right?
We could do CSI foot.
All right, so we got some upcoming events. The San Antonio Empowerment Council is hosting an essential oil skincare and makeup event on Saturday, June 22nd at the Holiday Inn Airport here in San Antonio. This is a great opportunity to learn about using high-quality essential oil-infused products to support your skin and beautify your body. Be sure to get your tickets at saecevents.com. And Laura, this is actually your going to be one of the instructors or the instructor?
No, I'm going to be one of them. Jennifer, your lovely wife, is going to join me.
She's going to help?
Yeah. So she really loves the makeup. So she's going to do the makeup and I'm going to do the skincare.
Oh, perfect.
So it's going to be fun. Yeah, and we both have the full line of everything. So people are going to actually have hands-on experience with everything from the cleansing all the way down to the final veil on their face. So it'll be fun.
So being able to experience the makeup and the skincare products, that's huge because it's touchy-feely, right? You want to kind of...
And you can do your whole face, not just half your face. Like in that movie, The Sister, where she went and get, you know how you go to the mall and you get your face done? They only did half her face. And she was trying to get it done for the prom. And she was like, well, you're going to do the other. Oh, no, you have to buy the product now to get the rest of it done.
So all her pictures were from the right side.
Yeah. It was funny.
Her boyfriend
It was a
little
funny
freaked
movie.
out, right?
Yeah, it was a funny movie. But we're going to do the whole face. So it'll be a really fun class. So
Yeah, and how many people are you expecting at the
50.
event?
We can do 50. We'll have tables, mirrors, everything. It'll be fun.
Perfect.
Yeah.
All right, I know Jennifer's excited.
And some great giveaways.
All right, so back to our little first aid kit. I wanted to give you guys a simple recipe. I call it the boo-boo spray recipe, okay? 4-ounce bottle. Make sure it's oil safe. I use BPA free or I use the glass bottles. 15 drops of tea tree, 15 drops of lavender, and 10 drops of frankincense. And then you're going to fill it with a carrier oil. I use fractionated coconut oil, okay? So that initial little, let's say they're playing in the yard and they get all these little bumps because they touched the wrong plant or something.
Oh, yeah.
You can spray that down. A little scrape, a little cut, even a bug bite. You can spray that on there. Again, boo-boo spray. The tea tree cleanses and rejuvenates, while the lavender helps the skin recover quickly. And the frankincense is optional, but it smells fantastic. And it provides a very nice, soothing feeling to it.
Yeah, it's only been used for a couple thousand years.
Millions,
So,
right?
yeah, or millions, right?
Yes.
Billions of years back at the Great Big Bang. Sorry. Cool. Is that it?
That's it.
All right, awesome. All right, so I'm going to talk a little bit about the rise of CBD oil. So if you're watching the news at all, if you're following the news online or on social media or on CNN or wherever, they're talking about CBD oil. So it's nothing really new. It's been around for a very long time, but the media is kind of jumping on board because it's very controversial. The whole, well, THC and my kids are going to get high for using CBD oil, all this nonsense. It's just people aren't informed about it yet, right? So, but it's nice to watch this kind of the explosion of all this happen, and people are becoming educated about the CBD oil and the amazing benefits. I didn't know this, but back in 2015, it was actually, there's some kind of law here in Texas that allows it to be used for epilepsy. I mean, I can't imagine the frustration and the helplessness of a parent dealing with a kid who has epilepsy, and then something as simple as a plant-based product that has zero negative effects on the body would help abate those. Just an amazing, very touching thing. And I know there's a lot of passionate people that went to the FDA hearing that they had to give their testimonial. There was over 100 people, I think, that showed up to give their testimonial about, hey, you need to allow this to actually happen. Yeah. So CBD oil is on the rise. What's interesting is, of course, it's legal just about everywhere now. But like here in Texas, I had to do a little research because I was a cop here, and I know THC is this big deal. And also, like a lot of companies have drug tests. Yeah. So if you're going to do a drug test, you don't want THC showing up and you pop it hot, as they say, on that. So here in Texas, you can have like no THC in your CBD oil at all. That's the requirement here. But anyway, so I just want to give you a little bit of information about that. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on it, but so CBD stands for cannabidiol. I had to practice that so many times. Cannabidiol, right? Which is derived from the hemp plant, right? Which is a cousin to the marijuana plant. So CBD oil exhibits no effects of abuse or dependence potential. Okay? No evidence of public health related problems associated with the use of pure CBD oil. This is the thing, is if you're going to go down and buy CBD oil, especially if you're taking drug tests or anything like that, you want to know about the quality of that.
Yes.
Good news is, and one of the reasons why I'm spending so much time on it, is Young Living is going to be launching CBD oil very, very soon, and we know their quality is amazing. I'm super excited about what this is going to bring and all of that. So, and of course, when they roll it into the Zyto technology, because if you can spend 10 minutes on CBD oil and see all of the amazing effects that it has on the body. And we see a lot of this with essential oils, at least in the research that I've done. Well, now they're going to roll that into the Zyto technology. I'm really curious to see what kind of stuff
That's gonna be
it comes up
exciting.
for. So anyway, I'm super excited about all of that. So
Wow, that's amazing. And I have used CBD oil for about 3 months now.
you
And
have.
I have seen a difference in the way my joints feel on my body.
Sure.
Yeah. So
Yeah. Again,
I had to say that.
Yeah, she had to say CBD oil and joints in the same
in the same
conversation.
sentence.
Sorry. That's funny. But, they make CBD oil balm. They
Mhm.
put it in a roller ball. You were just talking about roller
Yes.
balls. They even have it in that way.
Yes.
And I know there's even a line out there that says CBD oils for your pets. I haven't researched that.
So
but-
I use that for my pet. It's wonderful. So when I have a dog who has thunder trauma. He can start hearing the thunder before we hear it, and starts just shaking like crazy. And I've tried the oils. Peace and Calming didn't work, and I finally figured it out. He's a control dog. He likes to be in control.
Oh,
So
yes.
when the Peace and Calming made him feel out of control. Well, Stress Away did help a lot, as long as it wasn't severe. But then I tried the CBD for pets. It's wonderful. Just one dose under the tongue, and they're good to go.
That's
Wow.
amazing. Wow. Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right. So we're going to congratulate our winner this week, Mr. Darren Vandermolen. If that's not your name, that's your name now. You won a 3-pack sample of essential oils, lemon, lavender, and peppermint. So I'll reach out to you and we'll get that over to you. You want to be our winner next week? Comment, share, and like our page.
All right, awesome. One more note on the CBD oil. So they want to put it in food and drink products. This is the big push. This is one of the things that the FDA was talking about over this past week. So look for that. And Young Living is so phenomenal at putting, essential oils, infusing them into their supplements and products and drinks and so forth. That I would imagine some of that same stuff would be coming for the CBD oil. So I'm super excited about that. Well, thanks for joining us this week.
Thank you
we
for
appreciate
having
you
me.
coming
This
down.
was fun. Y'all are a lot of fun.
All right, we will see you guys next week. We're going to be talking more stuff. I know we got Young Living conventions coming up. So we'll see you next week. Enjoy it.
Bye.
Bye.